Hey there YouTube, just want to quickly share a recent acquisition. It is the Sirius by Dalibor Bergam, who is a custom knife maker out of Croatia. And this is the smaller of the two models he currently offers. This one has a 3.5-inch blade, and the other model he has is called the Regulus, and it sports a 4-inch blade. There are also slight differences with the overall blade shape and shape of the handle, but the main difference is the blade length. If you've looked into this knife at all through Dalibor's work in progress threads on the forums or reviews, you'll know that it's been described as beefy, a tank, and other superlatives, but those descriptions fit this knife really well. It is solid, no doubt. If I had to pick one folding knife out of my collection to replace a fixed blade, this would be it. Again, the blade is 3.5 inches, has a modified tanto shape, uses a Spyderco opening hole for deployment, and has a acid wash 3V steel. And there's the steel mark and Dalibor's maker's mark right there. What I like about the acid wash look is how it contrasts with his shiny orange peel titanium handle. That looks real cool to me. And I mean, you're buying this knife because it is, again, I'll use the word, a beefy folding knife. The blade is pushing, the stock is at least is pushing almost 1/4 of an inch, and the titanium handles are not far behind that. So again, you're holding something substantial, especially for a blade that's 3.5 inches. The fit on this thing is great. There is no play whatsoever, vertically, horizontally. We all try to feel if there's anything, and I couldn't make it happen here. It is, like I said, really solid. The lock geometry and the lockup is very early. If you've seen my other videos, I'm not a stickler for early lockup. I just want to make sure that it's solid. Won't move, won't give me rock. And I've tried to make it fail. No spine whacking, just putting pretty good pressure on the spine and then against the lock interface, and I couldn't get it to budge. So with how thick the lock bar is, I mean, that's just a lifetime that's gonna have to wear in. So hopefully I'll probably pass this down to my son or my sons before I see it get 100% engagement. So it does come very tightly tuned, and Dalibor lets you know that. So it does need a break-in period. When it came in, I mean, I couldn't really move it with my thumb without knowing that after a certain amount of time I'm going to have calluses the tips of my thumbs. So I use the index finger method of disengaging and unlocking the lock bar. And so when I have this in my hand now, and it's so much smoother now, I mean, just extremely smooth, I still instinctively go to this to unlock it. Perfectly centered. Again, the fit on this knife is really nice, solid. Again, it's a fixed blade replacement. The finish is really nice, really well done, but it is handmade, and there is evidence that it is handmade. For example, you can see at the end of the handles there a couple of nicks, maybe. The clip, there is a heat mark right in the middle of the clip, and honestly, it doesn't bother me. I mean, knowing that it's handmade and this kind of knife, while you're buying this kind of knife, it almost just adds character to the character it already has. So again, it doesn't bother me at all. Giant pivot. The stop pins are also titanium. Standoffs are titanium as well, and it is really nice in hand. I selected the contoured handles. He offers it in two different versions: the squared handle, which are the originals, and the contoured. So picking the brain of a couple of YouTubers who own the Regulus and the Sirius, and from the pictures I saw, I went ahead and ordered the contoured, and I'm really happy with it. Just, again, no hot spots, really nice. I mean, I can grip, and you know, there's nothing uncomfortable when I'm gripping it. So just that slight contoured feel really helps out with the handle. Why don't we do some knife comparisons, and excuse the bump, hopefully this will focus a little better. The first one I'm going to compare it to is the Les George VECP version 2 with the flat dark earth coated blade. And the Les George, blade wise, is slightly longer, but the overall length, tip to tip, they're pretty much identical. And I'll use a smaller blade for the next comparison, which is a Three Sisters Forge Beast. It has a 3-inch blade. So if I go handle, you can see the slight difference there. You know, let me try something to showcase probably the main difference, because lengthwise they're pretty much the same. At least for the two bigger knives. And hopefully that you can see that where for a 3-inch blade, the Beast has pretty good or thickness for the titanium handles. The blade stock's pretty thick as well. The Les George, which is not a bulky knife, but it's not you know, a thin knife. It has a good size or good thickness to the titanium handles as well. But they're both dwarfed by the Sirius. So if you're going for the Sirius, you know the kind of knife you're looking at and the kind of knife you want. And so hopefully this is a good illustration of just how thick the Sirius is and what you're going to get if you order it. But if you do, I highly recommend it. Dalibor is extremely responsive via email or the threads. Really easy to work with and communicate with, and his wait time for his knives are not bad at all. I think I got mine in about a month and a half, but I believe it's closer to a month. So if you're looking for a real thick little tank of a worker, I highly recommend the Sirius. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. So till then, be sure to cut with care.